Welcome, everyone. So today's agenda is pretty simple. We're going to go over the Yolobox, and so it has a logo, looks like that, and we'll pretty much be on the dual screen most of the time. But a little bit before I get into it, um, when I decided after my couple appearances on Curtis's channel to start a live stream. Um, I tried the channel before, but I don't like editing, and it's if I just didn't want to do the work, to be quite honest. So live stream, it's you set it up and then you just go, and most of my life was live recording, and you just got to deal with what you could deal with, and I like that better, to be quite honest. I don't like messing around with the edits, because life isn't a polished presentation. It's a live show. So I had a lot of experience with ATEMs. I installed over a dozen systems, a couple of the big ones, mostly the ATEM, uh, the 8-channel one, the ISO Pro, whatever the stream it's called. It's one Curtis uses and a bunch of creators use. And my first one was the Pro, which that person, we replaced it with the stream, and I have the Pro. Um, you get so much more with that device. The trouble is if you try to bring in a guest, it's really hard. I mean, it's a it's a it's almost impossible to do. I mean, I figured out a way to do it by somebody else figured it out, and when I say I figured it out, somebody else figured it out, and I stole their how they did it and modified it ever so slightly to make it work. Um, but it's not good. The whole reason I went with the Yolobox was its ability to invite guests, which that isn't working right now. Um, I just upgraded the firmware to the current version, I believe, which is 1.8. I haven't got an answer to when they're going to get the guests working properly, so that's a problem. And I've got a list of complaints about it. There's some, there's definitely some pros to the device. Don't get me wrong, but it's $1,500. The Ultra, it gives you 4+ inputs, and I say plus because it gives you 4 HDMI inputs. It gives you an HDMI out, which I'm currently running to program as kind of a confidence monitor. And then it gives you 2 USB A's and a USB-C. Now the way I've got, and we'll go over that, I think I can zoom in and out good enough. So we're going to go to the split screen for most of this, and I'll walk you through what I can. You want a full review, Aaron Parecki's got a whole hour video on the device, and he wasn't recorded. It was a recorded one, so it's chapter marked and it shows you the stuff. But when you turn it on, there's 3 options. You go streaming, horizontal, streaming vertical, because you can turn this thing 90 degrees and stream to places like Instagram. And then it's got basically just a record only version. They call it monitor mode, but it's kind of just record only. And so that's what you're getting. You're met with when you start up, and then once you create your live stream, this is what you get. So I'll switch to that view if I find the right button here. So this is the webcam of the Pocket 3 running in horizontal and vertical mode. Not much on the side. And then this is what you see. You see a small program feed, and then you see your switching, and then you have this whole panel over here is changeable. Okay, I can see audio. I can see inputs, comments from here. The overlays are very easy to create. They actually offer a web device, a website where you can create them on a computer screen and just import them into your Ultra, which is nice. the audio needs some work. Okay. Um, the currently USB-C, which is right here, is going into, again, it's going to the Scarlett, which is getting its audio from my Rodecaster Pro 2, because you can't plug the Rodecaster 2 into it. You get a terrible noise. So that's how the audio is working. And you can, like the videos, you can, the HDMI ports are 1 through 4, of course. And you can now change the new version of software. You can actually go in and change them to whatever you want them to be. So you do have delay you can put in. I'm running a 100 millisecond delay on the Rodecaster. So you got HDMI, you got USBs, the videos 1 and 2. That's intro and outro. I could rename those. Heck, why don't we try that? I think they say if you long press. Nope. Yeah. Oh well. One of the things that drive me crazy about this device is the getting the finger placed right. If you don't hit it dead exactly, and I have it tilted a little bit less than I normally do to make the picture look better. But as far as getting these buttons to pop up right, it can be very cantankerous. Now, there's a lot of things I like about the device, don't get me wrong. But let me go over all the ports. I have it in a cage. I have it in the onion cage because it's metal. How are you getting live video out of your Pocket Osmo? It's real simple. You plug the Osmo Pocket 3 into a USB port, and when you plug it into a computer, or in this case a tablet, you pick webcam, and voila. And the great thing is you notice it's auto tracking, so that's great. That was your question. Sorry for not putting it up there. Again, my experience is running one of these while somebody else is doing the talking. That works. Doing any of this yourself, whether it's ATEM or doing it on this or doing it on any of the other devices, is really hard. You can get better at it, I think, but it's never going to be as smooth as somebody else running it. It's kind of like we talked about last week, being a single creator. It's just really hard to set all that equipment up and run 2 or 3 cameras by yourself. So, that's the nature of the beast. So you have these different tabs down here. You have the overlay tab, you have the audio tab. This is where it's live on YouTube, and then you can send to multiple places if you have enough bandwidth. The fact that I'm actually able to send to Comcast is pretty good. It's 30 frames. I'm going at it about 3 megabits, and I've been live for 18 minutes. It tells you all that, of course, up here. This is a setting where you change program out, which I'm sending my program out into a Atomos Shogun, and then I recorded the stream from there. If I want to do some edits, I could. I have never pretty much ended up just throwing it away, but I've got the Atomos Shogun, so why not use it? 60 frames a second. If you turn on the USB-C out, that disables the audio and you wouldn't hear me. You can flip horizontal, and those are the settings. You have other things. This is where you invite guests, though that feature isn't working properly right now. The really cool thing about this thing is the scoreboard. You can set up a scoreboard display, and then you can, keep track of volleyball or basketball or soccer, and you can keep times up. It gives you some various styles to pick from. I think you can go in there. You can pick the font, guess names, and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool. I have no use for it. I'm not doing any of that stuff. But if you were, I mean, you'd sit there and keep up with people. You'd be like the pros and have the score up on the screen. So that's pretty cool. You also have, and on that same lines, you have replay. You can actually grab a part and then play it back in slow mo and select your range. Again, the really trick, if you're doing that, of course, if you're at a game, you're probably not on the screen. Because you got to really be on the device doing that to make that work right. But it works. There is a thing called network bonding. That's an add-on feature for, I think it's for, there's the original Yolobox, the Pro, the Mini, the Streamer, and now the Ultra. So that's 5, if I counted right. The Ultra is the biggest one. It can do everything, including vertical. The Streamer one is a vertical only. The Mini only has like 1 input, which could be very handy. Aaron Parecki, who's done more with this, and he's the best reviews I've seen. He's also the best explanation. I spent a couple weeks on his stream, big time, asking questions, and he was very gracious to answer them all. But he thinks the Pro, don't buy the Pro because the Pro's processor couldn't handle anything more. In fact, they're going to be limited updates to the Pro because it just can't do anymore. The Mini, being so much smaller, still has a purpose, he thought. But for $300 a year, $29 a month, this network bonding allows you to plug in a SIM card and an Ethernet port and merge. It will merge the two and put it all together so that you can get a stronger signal. Let's say you're at a place that has Wi-Fi, because it has Wi-Fi built in, and you have a SIM card. It would balance that load so that if the Wi-Fi went slow and the cell service could pick up, and vice versa. I have no need for that right now either. You have auto switching, which would be good if you're running a podcast and you purely wanted to set this thing up and then go sit down and be a part of the podcast. It can automatically switch between the sources on a schedule. And then you have the ability to record, and there's a lot of features in the record that I'm not using because I don't think recording is going to tax the device, and since I really don't need the ISO recordings, I'm not getting them. But you can record in 4 different versions: 720, high def, 2K, and 4K. You can only record one 4K, but you can record the rest in 1080, which is pretty good. And you can record also the what's coming in the USB 3 that's plugged is the webcam, which is the Pocket 3. So and you scroll back and make sure there weren't any new questions. But that's kind of, I think that's the last one. That's the recording. You can set your bit rate up to, I think it's up to 20K, which is plenty overkill for most things. You can set the frames. I think you can set, I'm running 265. It's just much more efficient, but you can run 264. You can set limits and that kind of stuff. So, but overall, the thing works decently well. It's got the bug with guests right now, which they haven't announced when they're going to get that fixed. The one thing they've added just recently is the ability to add up to 5 videos built in. You go down here to go down here to this button right here, and you get all kinds of options. You've got local video, images, and right now it's only, when they did the update, I lost the ability other than one image, which is a problem. So I've got to comment on that. They have a very active Facebook group. That part's good. And that's the tech support kind of participates in that too. But and they've been coming out with updates at a regular pace. It's about to the point where I consider it sellable, to be honest, right now. But you have you can get NDI. Of course, you have to pay the NDI license. You can bring in a live stream from another Yolobox. Don't have one, so I can't test that. You can bring in a PDF. That's kind of nice. But the multi-view is really nice. You can do picture-in-picture or the split screen like I'm doing it, side by side, or a news layout, or even 3 people up. You have 3 different. So if I click this, you pick your 3 sources. So I'm going to pick this one, and this one, let's say, and hit done. And it's going to bring them up, and there you go. And then you can separate them, the border thickness, and you can set, which one you want, bright, bigger, scale them, and you can actually put something, border color. You can pick a border color if you want one. And you used to be able to put a picture behind this, and I don't see it anymore. So I don't know what happened to that. It may have got left out in the update. And so that used to be able to put a picture in there, but I can't do that anymore. So anyway, and you can build that option. So, but it'll create it down here, and to get rid of things like this that I don't need, you just trash it like that and hit done. It's gone. So that part's really nice. Picture in picture is really quick. For this layout, I mean, it literally only took me a few seconds to do. So that part's really good. Overlays are really handy. I can click one up, and there we go. I click one up and pops it up there pretty quickly, and you can press it again, it fades out. So that part's really nice, and they're easy to create. You can do them right on the box. You don't need anything, though you can do them on the web. You can bring them right in really easily. It has a built-in battery, and here's the power plug right here, and I can pull it out, and it's still going. So there's the power plug. So that's not near as scary as when you pull a server rack power plug to see if the UPS is working. Those always scare me. This is another USB-C. There is line in, mic in as well. What's on this side? Oh yeah, the SIM card and the SD card. It is full-size SD, thank heavens. I hate micros. What else to say about it? So let's talk about the negatives, okay? And I'm looking because I actually have that on an overhead, and I can bring it in. I think 2, 3, right there is 3. There we go. So these are the issues with the Yolobox, and I'll just go through them. I'm going to go back to this view. Remote gas again isn't working right now. I assume they'll get it fixed, but I think they will have to do some new server, because when you do a remote gas, their servers handle part of the work. So they were having to do a whole server upgrade, from what I understand. So I can say that can take a little bit of time. When I had a guest, I had a terrible problem talking. If I said something, the echo was right after it, and it drove me crazy. But you had to have the headphones on because you got to hear what the person's saying. And I believe the Mix Minus setup of some sort, they're working on that solution. I heard that's coming shortly. Being able to plug a Rodecaster 2 in. I know they'll get it because on the Pro you can plug a Rodecaster or a Mackie in directly into the USB and it works fine. So whatever the issue is, they know how to fix it. They just ain't got around to it yet. What's really terrible is the settings. When you turn this thing off or you finish a live stream, you've got to always reconfigure it. Like video out to the monitor, you have a choice between this view that's here or just this picture here view. I want it this way. And if I also wish when it had it this way, that this wasn't here, that I could see all my scenes. It would be giving me a little bit more real estate. Because again, it's a small screen. I don't know how big. I think it's 7 inches. sounds about right. 780. It's a decent sized screen, but I wish when you turned program out for the monitor and it knew one was plugged in, that this went away. That'd be nice. A way of saving some settings would be huge, because you have to pretty much set it all back up. I got to collect, program out. I've got to recreate all my blended mixes like this. I have to reload the start video and the ending video, and that's a pain, but not terrible, especially once you get used to it. One of the problems is how to mount this thing. I'm going to zoom out a little. I think I can, zoom out a little. It's you've got all these ports. Now I've seen pictures where it's the other way around. Well, the ports are at the bottom down here. I didn't, but most people have it this way. The trouble is you need it when you're plugging it in and stuff. You need to, be able to get to it. What I've gone to is a little bitty tripod with a low profile ball joint, and that's working the best. So that's what I'm using. But that's, if you didn't have the cage, you don't even have that option. Okay, I think there's a screw point on the top, and that's it. Or I said this top, this bottom, currently the bottom. I put a handle on mine, and I put the mounting of the Pocket 3 is over here on the side. If you want, I can click a button and show that here. Let me get it in place here. So I'm coming out of the cage into an iFootage gear, and that's mounting the Pocket 3. So all in all, that's kind of my quick overview of the Yolobox. Anybody got any questions? I've answered audio buffs. How am I getting the video out? But in some ways, it's definitely more compact. Okay, having excuse me. This is a whole lot less room than an ATEM stream, and ATEM stream, you need a monitor, and then you need a computer, and then so it's a whole lot more compact to have this setup than it is to have just this. So that part's nice. This battery powered, it can run off power delivery from a V mount or big power bank without a problem. So that's nice. It's sturdy enough. I mean, I put a cage on everything. I've got a cage on my ZV-1. I don't have a cage. The only thing I don't have a cage on is the Pocket 3. It's because I don't think they make one. And it needs a cage. But, so I put a cage on everything just because I think it's the best way to take care of your gear. But no complaints really about its build quality. Software is not where it needs to be. I said we're in version 1.8, but we're a lot closer than when I got it. It was 0.3, so they've made a huge amount of. Well, I think 1.7 or 6 was out when I actually got it, but when it shipped, when I got it, took it out of the box, the version it showed was 1.3. I can't show you that. I don't think that's in. Yeah, that's in the settings tab that you get. That I can't get to from here. But that's how it works, and it's real simple. I mean, switching to, you can switch to camera 1, and then you can switch to camera 2, and you can switch to camera 3, and switch to camera 4. It's just the iPhone hooked up right now, or switch to this one, and because it's in vertical mode, of course, you just got black back there, and of course you can switch to the duals, and the ability to do duals is really nice. I think that part makes it really nice. It gives you enough information. It tells you your green on your bandwidth, your 29 to 30 frames a second, no drop frames, which is good. Your upload and download speed, the time. I don't know if it's, yep, is that, yeah, that's the right time. The time change automatic. It's running on Android. It's on the Android. The only two Android devices I have is this and the controller for my Pocket, my mini drone, the DJI Mini 3 Pro, or whatever it's called, the battery. And so it gives you enough information. I like the layout. I wish you could adjust some things. As I said, I wish I could get rid of the program feed since I have a program feed over here. But I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. It's easy to set up. The video quality is good. It's as good as the ATEM. I mean, I haven't noticed any problems there. And I said, the main reason I got it was the ability, how easy it is to invite guests. I mean, it's built in. You simply go to this button right here, and you invite guests. You can invite up to 4 people, or you can just do what I do, send the link to myself. Literally, I could, if somebody had a question, I could send this link to them, and they could open it on their iPhone. The iPhone can be the camera and the mic, and they could appear on the stream. It's that easy. So that part, once they get it working again, will be really good. It's working, as I said, it was working, then it quit working, and I think they've got to redo some server stuff why it isn't fixed. But I don't know when that's working. I mean, if you're into recording soccer and baseball and football games, and you have, because you could hook video transmit, you could, if you can run, you could run SDI and convert it, but you could run wireless transmission to some cameras. And so, you could, if you had a team, you could broadcast juniors, soccer game or baseball game or basketball game or lacrosse game real easy with this thing, and keep up with the scoring and all that. And if you had somebody wanted the commentary, obviously you could do that as well. It'd be hard to do it all yourself, okay? Not say it's impossible, but it'd be really hard. So that part's pretty neat. Wish I had a use for it. The fact that it's so mobile, I mean, I haven't streamed on Wi-Fi. I mean, I'm using a fixed Ethernet port. But I don't, when I test stuff, I test it on Wi-Fi. I did the update on Wi-Fi, and it worked fine. So I have a really fast Wi-Fi, so I probably could do it just fine. But I don't know. That's about it. Unless somebody's got a question, it's going to be a short one today. So I give it a grade. I give it a B probably right now. I mean, you buy something for a specific feature, now that feature isn't working. That's a little bit disappointing, but it sort of works. I mean, all the stuff is there. They just got to get the bugs out of the system. It worked before, so I feel confident they'll get it fixed in the next couple months, which is good because I mean, one of my goals for this was to have guests because it's so quick and easy to do. I mean, like when Curtis has a guest or other guests, he's doing it he's not even using his ATEM really. He's using StreamYard service, which I don't know about you. I just don't like all these different options, all these extra things you got to do. One, I'm not trying to make any money on this thing. I'm just trying not to lose money. So if I had to pay the basic service for StreamYard, I think it's $30 a month. The Pro's like $50 a month to get high def, and that's, you know, I mean, I guess you have money to blow. Or if you're doing it for business, totally different ballgame. On the ATEM, how we had a guest, we did it actually through Riverside, because we edited it. It was for recording, so we did. But it's the easy way to differentiate the two sites of Riverside and StreamYard is real simple. If you want to record and edit, use Riverside. If you want to stream, use StreamYard. And I could see not buying this piece of equipment, just using the ATEM I had. I mean, I didn't buy this. It was, again, I think I was pretty honest. This was a Christmas present for my son. But I have an ATEM Pro, just the 4 input. So I could I could live without that camera if I was not doing this type stuff anyway. I can make it work on ATEM because it does have picture-in-picture, and use the StreamYard for that, for everything. But the thing is, you know, it's $50 a month, and they provide some things, and you'd be using a computer screen versus punching a button. I find this easier. So anyway, we're going to end. If we don't have any questions, this will be a short one. I haven't decided what to do next week, but I have a good idea. And I'll put the information up on the seniortech.com website. It's the easiest way to get in. We also have a Facebook page. Not that many people have joined. There's not that much activity yet, but it's still early. Again, I got 5 decades in sound and 3 decades in video. At least 3 now. Probably about 4 decades in video. I mean, one of the guys that I learned under, I just recently met, and he's in his 80s, and he was showing the ATEM setup at a college, and I was kind of joking with him in the picture. I go, "Where's the 2-inch tape?" Because we used to have to load these big 2-inch tape reels to record in the studio. The equipment in the studio and the cameras were, astronomical. I think it was $750,000, and this little jewel does all that and better. It's that's technology for you. It's quite amazing. Maybe I should. I think I'm gonna do a show and tell of history next week. I mean, I've been around since punch cards and stuff. I think it'd be interesting history because I've kept some samples of stuff. I've got some original things to show that would be kind of fun, and since I have the setup, I can do a show and tell pretty easy. Just do it right on top of the screen, or move this out of the way and do it right here. So I may do that. That sounds like fun, actually. Pull out the punch cards and the old tech, back when we recorded to, I don't have any of the 2-inch cameras, the cameras that I got rid of all that stuff. I got rid of all my camcorders. I don't have the mini DV camcorders anymore either. But anyway, screensaver kicked in. Poof. Okay, I think that's about it. So if nobody has any questions, Danny says it's time to go. I agree. So I think I'm gonna, if I play video 2. No, that's not the right one. Ha, I loaded up the wrong video. So this is cute. Let me go back to here. Let me show you how you do that. You go into video, local video. That's one that says Senior Tech Outro. You click on that and hit done. It brings it in. And then you press that button.